Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle. With me, as always, is Steve. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. We got a lot to get into. Actually, no, we don't. We don't. It's not really that busy, but we do have to talk about Trent bossing midfield for England, and of course, the latest on Khephran Thuram transferring to Liverpool. Steve, how you doing this morning, bro?
Well, happy Father's Day to all the
Happy-
fathers out there.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say to kick things off.
it's a beautiful Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Now, Trent, did you watch the game?
I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights.
Dude, he looked immaculate.
He did, and
It's unbelievable.
people are saying like take it with a grain of salt because of who they played, and I get that, but still, I think that was his first time playing like a formal midfield role for.
Yeah, and he changed his number too.
What's his number?
10 for England now.
Sheesh.
So I think he went from 18 to 10 or something like that.
He what I've been thinking about on the heels of this is what's going to happen for Liverpool. Like if we expect him to play that hybrid role all year, like that's a lot to put on one player. It's a lot of running, a lot of thinking. Obviously, he gets paid for it. He's a professional, but still, like, are we going to sign a right back?
Well,
Because
that's
at this point, he has to play in the midfield. Maybe not 100% of the time. That hybrid role could be fine, but that's just it's a lot.
this
And
is what I was thinking the other day. If he plays that hybrid role mid-match, we'd go back to a back three. So technically, we wouldn't need a right back, and if anything, we would need a new center back. So maybe that's why we let what's his face go out on loan, and now Trent's playing this hybrid role. I think Klopp found this new system.
I think you're right. I think that's what they're going to try to do. I just don't know how sustainable it is for an entire season. Because yeah, mid-match we switch formations, but then when we play against better teams, we're not gonna have 70% possession. So then he's gonna end up in right back, and the game's gonna be fluid, end-to-end games. Like that's tough for a player to basically play two positions, to have to
You
move
don't
over
think that it's
30
less
yards
work?
back and forth.
You don't think that it's less work because he wouldn't necessarily be defending?
Well, that's the thing. He would have to defend. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be matches where he's going to have, if we play that hybrid role with him, he's going to have to be in both places the whole match. So I think it's just a lot of back and forth, a lot of mental calories he'd have to spend to make that work. So I don't know. That's just what I've been thinking about. Those are my thoughts.
No, it's a good
Trying
question
to
to
figure out
ask.
how it works.
It's a great question to ask. We have people in the chat here talking about it. Oscar says the hybrid role will be ineffective against top six teams. And I think so, just given his defending. But again, if we get a right back, then Trent wouldn't even be able to line up as the right back. He would be 100% a midfielder. For me, I don't know if this is hard for anyone else to wrap their head around. It's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that Trent wouldn't be a hybrid right back. I find it hard to believe Klopp just puts him in the midfield. You're muted.
I think it's hard. I think it's hard for me to picture that as well. But it's also hard for me to picture him playing that hybrid role for the whole year. You know, like that's the point I was trying to make the top six teams. Oscar, glad we're on the same page here. Like, does he just play right back those matches?
Well, that's the thing. Like on the team sheet, he lines up at right back and just filters in. We go to a back three. And I find it hard to believe that Klopp wouldn't just set up how he normally sets up and then let him just drift into midfield.
Well, you got to think about when he plays that hybrid role, he is a defensive midfielder, but he's also, we see him at the top of the box quite a bit, right? And like he
Yeah.
can even end up, if there's an overlapping run, he may end up on the left side of like the opponent's box to an extent. So that's 70 yards he'd be
Right.
responsible for getting back to when we lose possession. And when you think about the fact that when he's playing right back, he's down in the other corner and still has to get back. It's just there's a lot more moving parts aside from him if he ends up playing that midfield role and drifts up towards the left as I'm talking about. There's a lot of other people that have to fill in as he's tracking diagonally back to right back. So there's just more moving parts. It's more complex. But
right, and that's
it's good
kinda
that
what
we have the summer to.
I think that's what Oscar's talking about. Too much pressure would be on Konate in that situation. By the way, there's a little bit of static. It's not terrible, but there's a little bit of static. Hi, Tony. Happy Father's Day. Good morning to Liz, Max. A lot of new people in here. If you're new, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe. Absolutely free. Easiest thing you could do. To Bonnie, Caleb, Hannah's in here as well. Dermot, what's going on? Dermot, thanks for joining us. I know you've been cooking out. My mother's in here. Good morning, Mom. All right. Tony says, who knows how Trent will be used with Mac Allister in the team? That's another thing we got to think about, bro. Let me ask you a question. Do you find it more likely that Klopp drifts away from Trent being a right back and more so a midfielder? Or do you find it more likely that he stays in this hybrid role where he'll have to play right back for some games?
How's the static, by the way?
Now it's fine. You're good.
Okay. I think the hybrid role is more likely.
As do I.
Because that's what we've seen. We have the whole summer to iron it out, but still, it's a big change. To some, it may not seem like a major change, but I think it's a major change. And again, it's hard for me to just picture him on the team sheet, like listed in the midfield.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
I would love to see that if we got a right back that was great at defending and also just had crazy legs.
He has said, though, he feels more comfortable in midfield. And when I see him, like, the transition has just been seamless. It's almost as if he's been locked down. He's been in a crate, in a cage. And then over the last 6 months, Klopp's just said, go ahead. And now he's playing his best football.
Yeah. His skill set is limited at right back. We
is.
only love Trent when he's delivering crosses, when he plays right back. But he can put his full repertoire of skills, his entire skill set on display. And he just looks more free.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're right. He's been leashed. He's been on a leash for so long. And I think when you mentioned he said he feels more comfortable in midfield, I think that was years ago.
No, he said it after the England thing, or he said like it just feels natural or something.
But yeah, I think he also said something along the lines of it's a learning curve or it takes time, something like that. So just take the feeling more comfortable piece with a grain of salt, because I think he did. I don't remember word for word, but in any event, we are a better team when he plays in midfield. Now, good point in the chat about Mac Allister. We don't know what he's going to do because he can play anywhere in the center. So it'll be interesting to see, man. That's one of the biggest, I think, talking points of the summer, and one of the biggest question marks going into the new year is, of course, we don't know who else we're going to get for the midfield, and then we don't know what Mac Allister's going to do or what Klopp has lined up for Trent. So I guess let me ask you this. Would it make more sense, or do you want them to purchase a center back that can play right back or get a right back?
It's a good question.
Well, who is it? Connor Bradley?
Connor Bradley's coming back.
Yep.
We just loaned out our guy that I can't remember his name anymore because played 2 games.
Ramsey.
Thank you. Calvin Ramsey. Just because of how we've played in the past, I think we need a right back, a mobile right back. We have Joe Gomez, who is a hybrid. By the way, people don't forget that. Why not buy both?
Well, now you're talking.
Get them both.
Pick them up.
Pick them up. It's not that hard.
Ing, ing, ing. Sing, ing.
You lost me there.
It's dumb and just a continuation of the Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, okay.
When they pick him up, they're singing Mockingbird in the car, in the van.
Oh, that's
Mockingbird, don't everybody have you heard?
that's
We're gonna buy you a mockingbird, mockingbird.
The guy's sitting in the middle and they're just singing it.
Yeah. How's the audio, by the way?
You're good now.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Doug said, which is why Pavard would be a sensible signing. Or any player of that caliber. Doug, I agree. I think it's interesting because you want somebody that can defend better at right back. But they also have to be able to deliver. They need a skill set that includes crosses and passing
And speed.
that's what I said. Well, legs, legs
Yeah.
in general. They need stamina. I would like to see somebody on the younger side, but has experience. So Pavard fits in that mold. I feel like there aren't many that would be a Liverpool type signing, and I don't even think Pavard is a Liverpool type signing. In
Neither
the price
do I.
range, yes, but he's been at bigger clubs. He's been bounced around a little bit. There's been some question marks. I feel like we go after like gems.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, all right, look. Center backs we're linked with is Van den Ven and Ignacio, right? Those are the two we're linked with. Not huge names. So maybe gems. I'm telling you, dude, aside from Pavard, we haven't been linked with any fullbacks.
I think the Ramsey signing was along the same idea as the Robertson signing. Come from a lesser club, low price point, see what he can do.
But it's,
I honestly think there's a player there. And I was a little bit surprised we put him out on loan because, of course, he needs first team football. But he's a year older than when we purchased him. He knows the system now, regardless of if he's played or not. He's been around training and all that for an entire year. And I feel like he didn't really get a chance.
well, he was also injured.
Well, that's
for
what I
the
mean.
entire
But I
season,
feel like because he's not going to be with us during preseason now, right? Let us know
Good
in the
question.
chat.
Yeah,
I would like to see him play.
Yeah, whenever the loan starts, I guess.
Yeah.
See, I never thought about it like that. I thought of it as more of a future signing. But when I saw him play, I liked what I saw. But him being loaned to Preston, does that kind of tell you the quality?
I think it does. Isn't that where the legend Sepp Vandenberg went?
That's exactly where he went.
And then he ended up getting bought by them?
Did they buy him or no? Ben Davies went to Preston, didn't he?
I think let's see.
Are we like in bed with Preston North End?
No, he's at Schalke. Sepp Vandenberg.
Sepp's at Schalke? When did that happen?
Dude, I don't even know.
Is he on loan?
I think so. Let's see. I guess we still own him?
Dude, what?
Do we still own him? He went to Preston North End on loan 21-22. 61 appearances for them.
Yeah, no, he played pretty much every game.
And then 22-23, he's been at Schalke.
I missed that. What was I doing?
10 appearances for them. Who is he owned by?
Should be us.
We still have Sepp?
Yeah, we sold Ben Davies to Preston, I thought. That's the one who we sold. All right, so this is what happened. So, who was the guy? There was a player, and I don't know if it was Sepp or Ben Davies, but it was almost like a swap deal. It was like we took a player back, and then we sold a player to Preston, or it was like a loan with an option to buy. But I'm almost positive Preston North End bought Ben Davies. Or maybe we got no. We got Ben Davies from Preston North End. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He played for That's what it was. No, that's 100% what it was. Now I remember, because I remember watching the highlight videos. Good God, this is what happens when you're trying to keep up with these players that don't sniff the pitch. They came in and they were serving the lunch at the AXA Training Center because they couldn't play.
Yeah, we still have Sepp.
I know we do. Ben Davies is the one we sold.
And apparently he just got an injury.
Of course he did.
But why?
That's right. Davies is at Rangers, bro.
Okay.
Now it makes
weird
sense.
Loto
We
with
got
the
him
knowledge.
from Preston.
So this is a good question because he is a legend. A Liverpool legend, can play right wing like no other.
No, he is. He's pretty much the most versatile player on the planet.
What are we doing with him, Kyle? What's going on?
So here's my theory.
Been on loan for 3 years.
Bear with me, right? Well, we got him when he was 7. We got him when he was 17. All right. Here's my theory. So Sepp, we keep loaning him, right? Here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna bring him back. Klopp is officially going to put Trent in the midfield, and he's gonna play Sepp as a right back.
I would be lying if I said that didn't actually cross my mind. And then I realized, like, no, that would never work. But, like, I actually thought, like, oh, who could play there? And then I was like, Sepp Vandenberg, but no way. Obviously, you're joking.
Yeah, I thought when we sold Sadio Mane, Sepp was going to be his replacement.
I thought so, too.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to start over Diaz.
Me too.
Well, poor Sepp is never going to make it into the Liverpool first team. It's rare, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but my feeling is if you go out on loan, that's it. You'll never make it back unless you're like Harvey Elliott. First of all, he was very, very young.
Well, notice we didn't loan him.
Blackburn.
Oh shit, we did.
No. So here's the asterisk. It's Harvey Elliott because he was so damn young, and because when he went there, he tore it up. He was like one of the best players in the league. So no brainer, bring him back. And it wasn't a loan like you're not good enough type loan. It was a
like
you're young and you're just not ready yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we want you to play and develop because we see something in you. I don't think that's the case with Sepp Vandenberg. I don't think he's ever going to make it into the sides. He's only 21, but by 21, if you're gonna play, if you're gonna get actual minutes for a club like Liverpool, by 21, we should know what you have.
Yeah.
You should at least be wearing red for the season.
Right. Look at Konate.
It's just not going to happen.
Like Konate is a great example of where you should be as a defender by his age. When we got him, he was already a problem defending. He was really good. Sepp Vandenberg, you're right. It's just another one of those weird signings. Like in the midst of all the transfer rumors, you get a notification. Liverpool sign Anderlecht Wonder Kid for $3.2 million. And you're like, oh, who's this guy?
Wait,
right?
Who are you talking about?
I'm just saying you get a random notification. I'm just making something up.
Yeah.
Or like FC Basel Wonder Kid. And you're just like, who's
Aberdeen Wonder Kid?
Aberdeen Wonder Kid. Yeah. And you're just like, what? What is this?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So he's 21. He had a bad ankle injury, I guess.
The status. I know, bro. I don't like saying it.
Still hear it.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that's my computer humming.
Because it's only when you talk.
Testing.
Okay, actually, no. Now it went away.
Okay.
But now it's back.
What does it sound like? Actually, you know what? I'm going to listen to myself.
It's literally like static.
All right, let's try something else here. I'm not giving up today.
Don't give up. Michael, I have missed you. Where the hell have you been? When Curtis Jones was doing well, you were a ghost. You were a ghost. Hard times make diamonds, my friend, and you were a ghost. But it's good to have you back. LD said this transfer window is going to flop one more time. Look, we got to be happy with Mac Allister. Okay? Got to be happy with Mac Allister. Don't forget, people are going to hate me for saying this, man. People are going to hate me for saying this. Look at the way Curtis Jones ended the season. And don't forget about Harvey Elliott. Okay, everyone, when I think about the midfield, to be fair, I think about, all right, we have Thiago, we have Fabinho, we have Hendo. Now we have Mac Allister. Ellie said Curtis Jones is an average player. 3 good games, not good enough for me. Okay. I think he had way more than 3 good games at the end of the season. I think he had 10 straight starts or something like that. Or at least 10 straight appearances.
All right, I'm going to talk here. And then I'm going to listen to myself on my phone. So bear with me.
What, you couldn't hear it? Talk closer. No, there was no static right there. You can't listen. There was no static. Steven!
I'm back.
You can't listen there. There was no static.
Yeah, I know. Well, let me know when it comes back.
All right, I'll let you know when it
Is it bad? Like, what? I don't understand.
It's not bad, and it comes in and out. And then all of a sudden, it almost just sounds like your shorts have static, and then you pull them down. And it's like, or I can't do the static sound, but whatever.
Well, I think you need better dryer sheets to remove the static from your clothes.
I use less dryer sheets now because dryer sheets are directly carcinogenic.
Well, you got to get the all-natural ones. You got to get a better brand.
Okay, and pay $10 more?
No. Oh, you know what? Let me actually educate you. Let me educate everybody.
Brief sidebar.
Common misconception, because everything that I buy here, food, I try. It's
literally everything is carcinogenic, by the way.
Yeah,
everything.
I'm not naive. I know you can't get everything like natural and organic, but I do my best, my wife and I. And it's not more expensive when you think about. So there's a couple things to consider here. One is, are you going to buy things that are cheaper and put yourself at risk for health issues and health bills down the line? Number one. Number two, if you go and get an organic brand and a name brand, the organic brand will be more expensive. However, where you can meet in the middle is a store brand organic option, which is about the same price. And when we're talking price, it's very close. Cents, maybe $1. And then you buy in bulk and it doesn't matter anyways. Cancels out. So don't let that be a deterrent.
I thought you were going to say, don't let that be a detergent. I'm a freaking dad. All right. So.
Oh, happy Father's Day to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, that's right. Happy Father's Day to everyone. What the hell were we talking about before?
Let us know if you're a father. Give us a thumbs up in the chat so we can give you a shout out. Jones had plenty of good games, by the way.
Yeah, no.
But we talked about this last week, I think. I still can't picture him being like a centerpiece of the midfield yet.
Who?
Jones.
No, but those last 10 games got me excited.
But was it because we didn't have any other options?
Probably.
Yeah. Would he even have gotten those opportunities if Thiago was fit?
No, but now he may. He scored like 2 or 3 goals in those last games.
Yeah, those crosses that come over and he taps them in with his left foot, like that's his thing.
Yeah.
Nobody else does that.
Nope. Darwin can't even finish like that.
He's a skilled. Darwin had one of those actually. He's a skilled player, Curtis Jones. He has talent. And we saw the work rate, which was incredible. So there's no doubt he's going to play a role. I just can't picture him as a regular person in the starting 11 yet, especially with Mac Allister coming in. Thiago will be fit. He's got 1 year left. He's got a crazy skill set. We know that. You still got Fabinho. You still have Hendo. You still have Harvey. It's going to be tough to get minutes in that midfield. That we've talked about this, especially because they're going to sign somebody else. Now, we lost Milner, Ox, and Keita, but Jones was already ahead of them in the pecking order. Everybody that we bring in is probably going to be ahead of Jones.
The fact of the matter is, though, and Konate said this too, Konate brought up the fact that we lost these 4 players. You have to replace all 4. You have to.
Who's the fourth?
Firmino.
Oh, right.
You have to replace. Well, maybe not Firmino. Maybe you don't have to replace Firmino because he's
Well, we already did.
Well, I'm just saying, right? You have to bring in a certain number of players because right now in the midfield, let's count it. We at the start of last season we had 8 midfielders, bro, 8, and we still ran into injury issues. Still with 8. All right, so now Jones, Elliott, Thiago, Mac Allister, Fabinho, Hendo. Who am I missing? That's 6.
Start over.
Shit. Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago, Elliott, Jones, Mac Allister. That's 6.
Carvalho.
Okay, count Carvalho.
Right, because he hasn't gone anywhere yet, has he?
Am I missing anyone? I'm going to feel terrible. Someone's going to say it. I'm going to be like, oh, my God.
Oh, Bajcetic.
Bajcetic is a problem.
I know, and there may be one other. But here's think about this. Who plays Bajcetic's role? Or who plays that midfield role that Trent slides into?
Nobody. Unless Alexis
No.
Mac Allister has it.
Not who plays it as well. Who plays a defensive midfield role on the team?
Hendo, maybe.
Fabinho, Bajcetic. Right? And
Sure.
Mac Allister can play there. And
right.
maybe Thuram can play there.
Are you talking about a defensive midfield role?
Yes.
Okay, Mac Allister's not playing defensive midfield, but I get what you're saying.
No, I don't think so either, but he can, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So we have options. The problem was with last year, with all the midfielders we had, the injuries were a concern, but the problem was we didn't have enough quality. Like, we always had enough bodies, but there wasn't enough quality. When you have to rely on Bajcetic to literally like keep you alive. When Bajcetic was playing well, he kept us afloat. That he was playing well during those dark times.
Right.
He kept us afloat, and he was the silver lining in that period.
Good God, yeah.
But if Trent's going to play in the midfield, is Bajcetic ever going to play? Because Fabinho is going to get shouts on a regular basis. Hendo's going to play. People are saying Hendo's going to take the Milner role. Like, maybe, but
I see it.
He's still the captain, and he still played like every match. So I don't see Hendo just dropping off the face of the earth.
Bajcetic will be in Klopp's plans for next season. The question is to what extent, right? How much is he going to play? Shout out to Liz for the super chat. Thank you guys. You guys always showing support for the channel. Thank you very much. And Liz hopes everyone finds a little bit of joy today. Thank you very much, Liz. We appreciate your support. And all of our channel members, thank you very much. And everyone else here, thank you very much for tuning in. Now, I want to look at the latest on Khephran Thuram real quick. Khephran Thuram liked Trent's post about the goal for England. Okay? Great. Cool. We've seen that before. That is kind of exciting, though. Why would Khephran Thuram like the post?
He's probably talking to Liverpool players. He probably has somewhat of a relationship with some players here, right?
Definitely Konate, right? I mean, him and Konate are close with the France side. All right. The latest reports are suggesting that we are still talking with his agents. All right. And we're trying to iron out a deal before the U21 Euros start or whatever the hell they're called. I don't see it happening. There's not enough breaking news. There's not enough buildup. I haven't heard anything from Fabrizio Romano since last week on it. Look, Oyvind, you can crap on the social media detective game, but it is fun. It is fun to see it, to see who people follow and whatnot. Now, the social media detective game failed us with Jude Bellingham. All right, now, I think that is mainly down to Liverpool not pursuing him and deciding they can get 3 players. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from Romano either. I was actually looking this morning. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, like last week was the latest. Matt I think, was it Matt Thielen was the latest? And then there's a ton of Twitter accounts out there with like a couple thousand followers, maybe a couple tens of thousand. And they tweet stuff, but it's like, that's not reliable. The only person I legitimately trust now is Fabrizio Romano. I can't trust anybody else because most other journalists, not most, there's a lot of journalists that report, they're writing op-eds. Like a lot of them are like, they're reports, yeah, but they're opinion pieces. And they're just like, ooh, based on this is what I think.
What's an op-ed? Tell me more about that.
It's like an opinion piece, essentially.
Where's the ed come from?
I don't know. I just said it. I think it's education, opinion education.
Did you? Well, that's a cop-out guess.
It is. Wait, what's an op-ed? I'm searching it. Because Steve called me out. I appreciate it. What's op-ed mean? Opposite the editorial page. What the fuck?
Is that what you were looking for? Open
Is a
editorial.
piece of no. I had it right. Okay, so I had the definition of it right, but I didn't know what it meant. Used op-ed is slang for a piece of writing that expresses a personal opinion. So, all right. So I had it right, just didn't know what the slang was. So
You had it right.
yeah, open editorial.
You had it right.
So I had it right.
Yeah, you said it 3 times.
I had it right. Damn it. All right.
All right, what's going on in the chat here? Guys,
Yeah.
what do you think about Thuram? Is he coming or not? Anyways, last time Romano said anything was June 8th on Twitter, at least.
And this was the agents talking?
Yeah, they're still talking with agents. No formal bids. They remain on the list. But I will say this. Whatever's going to happen, like something has to happen soon.
Why is it not happening faster?
That's the thing. Well, there's a lot that goes into these things, of course, but these aren't big deals. I'm sorry. These are not Bellingham deals. Like, just get it done. Buy the player that you want or the players, and let's get started. Let's get them over to Liverpool. Let's get them situated. Let's get them watching film. When does preseason start? Let's actually look at that.
July. It's usually always July, right?
Well, I'm going to find out right now.
I literally cannot believe how long these seasons are. It's crazy. Like, these players never stop.
July
There's
19th.
no off season.
Well, they got a couple months.
They're
But they're going to go to
playing
training
international
camp,
right now.
what, the first week of July, maybe?
They're all
somewhere?
playing international right now.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
There's no time off. If they're not, it'd be different if they didn't play international ball, but they do. So,
Have you been following any of that?
yeah.
I'd need a break. I said this
I
when
just-
the season ended. I need a break. So I
Well,
haven't
yeah.
really been following.
So last season I needed a break. I didn't follow anything. But I have been following, what teams are doing and whatnot, watching like I think the Netherlands played Croatia the other day. I watched the highlights of that. But yeah. All right. So Ross says, I think I read that Nice want money up front. I do know that he's their prized asset and they're driving a hard bargain. Buzzflow says work permits. I rarely hear that as being an issue. And to be honest with you, the most times that I hear it's an issue is from South America. Have you noticed that, Steve? Like players coming from South America to Europe have issues with work permits.
Yeah, there's just like more legal stuff to get through there, I think.
Yeah.
Once you're in Europe, you're in Europe.
Nothing gets by you.
You know?
Yeah.
Like once you're in Europe, you're in here.
Once you're awake, you're awake. Yeah.
Well, but no, you're right. Especially like the younger guys. Like the 16, 17-year-old wonder kids. It takes them like 3 years to get eligibility.
This is what I'm saying. I think that just comes down to, being 16.
Like child labor laws.
Exactly. The static is real bad now. I'm sorry. I hate saying it, but Liz says important question. How's the money plant?
Do I sound okay?
Now you sound great. What the hell?
Well, I keep turning on and off echo cancellation.
Oh, but it's not echo.
I know, but there's like factors and features tied to the echo setting.
Got it.
And I feel like when I turn it off, it's just better.
Is this the Liverpool echo?
This, if it sounds like a fan blowing,
It
my
doesn't.
computer just works overtime.
Oh, now
It,
now it does. I hear it. I like
yeah,
that.
see, but I think that's why the echo cancellation helps is to cut some of that out. How do I sound now?
Just amazing. I could go to sleep.
Oh, okay. So I'm boring, but I sound clear.
You sound relaxing and clear. Now, Anderson Arroyo, I remember. Who was that other Brazilian kid that we had? He was trying to get his work permits for 4 years. He was a young Brazilian midfielder, and I think we saw him play once in the League Cup. And then it turned out that we may have gotten in trouble because he didn't have his full work permits yet, and we let him play. Do you remember this kid? Oh my God, guys, please, in the chat, tell me his name. It's like early Klopp era. Alan Rodriguez. That was him.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dude, this was crazy.
Liz, the money plant is good. Well, actually, this past week it's been yellowing. No,
Oh,
come on.
I'm just
It's
saying.
been yellowing a little bit, but with money plants, they're very delicate. They're hardy plants to the extent that they'll grow, but if you're watering, if your pH, if your soil and drainage like isn't spot on, you'll see that in the leaves. So the leaves can like turn yellow a little bit and then you pull them off. So it's a work in progress. I did, however, thank you for asking, by the way, Liz. I did, however, repot the plant from its original small standard pot to a much larger pot. And apparently a money tree will grow as big as the pot that it's in. As
Big
big
pot
as
guy.
you, yeah, as big as you allow the root system to get in a larger pot, larger area. Apparently the foliage in the trunk will grow further. So it's a work in progress. It definitely chews up too much real estate in my head. I think about it constantly. Every time I walk by it, I'm like, what does it need? When was the
See
last time
that?
I fed it? You know?
That's me with the lawn now. Oh
Oh,
God.
I mean, I know how that goes.
Yeah, it's rough. But I want to look at this Vega thing real quick. I'm not gonna pull up anything, but when I also remember when I sent you that Federico Valverde offer, I got real excited with that. When it said Liverpool submit 60 million euro bid for Valverde,
hmm
I know it wasn't real, but damn it, if that wouldn't be one of the best signings Liverpool has ever made.
It probably would be the best signing they've ever made, aside from the main ones, right? Salah, Allison,
Van Dijk.
and Van Dijk.
Like, it wouldn't happen. Valverde wouldn't leave. No one would leave Madrid right now.
I don't think he'd be opposed
Why?
because they're bringing in so many players. It's like why? It's like Chelsea. There's players that are at Chelsea that love Chelsea, but they're bringing in so many players. They're like, I got to get out of here because certain players don't want to have to fight for game time. I think Valverde is a good enough player to start every match for Real Madrid. There's no doubt. I think he's one of the best 11, personally.
Yeah.
But you don't spend money on Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham and keep Modric and Cruz and not play them. Like Cruz will not play a ton. Like that was the case this year as well. But you can't have $100 million players, $80 million players sitting on the bench. I don't care how much money you have.
So here's what I'm going to say. And I want to leave it at this because I want everyone to think about this. The people you just named off: Camavinga, Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Cruz, Modric, Valverde. Any other midfielders that I'm missing
Where?
for Madrid?
Yeah, there's more.
The point I'm making is every one of those midfielders could start in Liverpool's midfield. and they have multiple players. We need that. They don't care. They're going to get the best quality, and you're going to fight for your position. If you want to leave, that's fine, but they're going to get the best quality. Liverpool need to do that. I completely understand wanting to grow the youth and all that. That's fine. You can still have a good team and do that. All right. But I also think there's something to be said for you can't wait on the youth. You have to let the youth work. Let me say it a different way. You have to let the youth push themselves to earn a spot in the first team. You can't just say, hey, we're not going to buy anyone. We'll wait for you to develop. Buy people. Get your midfield sorted out. Get your defense sorted out. Whatever. And then when let Curtis Jones play, let Harvey Elliott play. They're going to play regardless, but you need to get your midfield players sorted out. I just think Madrid they get the best players, and it doesn't matter how many of them there are. Like, they don't care. That's the kind of the mindset we need to have. Like, Chelsea are doing a similar thing, but they're doing it wrong. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
You are. They also have two names you didn't mention, Lucas Vasquez.
Okay.
And Danny Ceballos. But both those players play.
Right,
so what I'm saying is
yeah.
I don't think it's as outrageous as some think for Valverde to leave. He's already conquered things. He's already won trophies. Maybe he wants to come to England. Maybe he's got some sort of he's Uruguay.
He's either Uruguay or Argentinian.
Yeah,
I think
is
one of those.
And what nationality is Darwin?
Darwin's Uruguayan. Pick him up.
And then Suarez.
Yeah.
There's some connections. He knows how good we are. He played us in a final. 2 finals. No, 1 final. He knows we're good. Like, it's not like a step down in his career per se, depending on who you ask.
I also think there's something to be said for you don't do business with your rivals. And lately, Madrid has become a rival for us. Like, there's teams we just consistently do business with. Like, for example, I just feel like Brighton's one of those teams all of a sudden. James Milner going the other way. I know we didn't sell him. He went on a free, but we got Mac Allister. Apparently, we're in bed with Preston North End. Could we choose a better team for the love of God?
Well, I actually don't think that's true because we bought players from literally everywhere.
Well, we were buying everyone from Southampton for a while.
Yeah, but we got Ox from Arsenal.
True.
Leipzig. We got players from Leipzig. Monaco.
Who did we get from Monaco?
Fabinho.
That's right. Good point.
Roma. Southampton was the thing. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Southampton
I think it's more spread out than you think. Benfica.
Right. But you still keep good connections with these teams. But we're not getting players like. Okay, no, that's not true because we got Thiago from Bayern, and Mane went to Bayern. So there's a relationship right there. Okay, I almost seem like as of recent, a player goes and a player comes to the same team.
Think about this. I'm going to make this very simple for everyone that thinks that maybe Valverde is not possible. I don't know if the links are real, but they're being reported on real websites. It's an actual thing that people are discussing. If you can get Valverde, let's just say we did bid 60 million. I think that's low. Literally, I think he's a $100 million player. I think he is one of the best midfielders on planet Earth. I'm a big fan of his.
Steve loves Valverde.
If you get Valverde, let's just call it 80, and you got Mac Allister for 35, a little bit of add-ons here and there, that's the price of Bellingham. If you told me 2 months ago, do you want Bellingham or Mac Allister and Valverde? It's a no-brainer.
Oh, to me, that's a no-brainer too. But that wasn't the question. So like you just said, for example, you said Valverde is quote-unquote $100 million player. So To me, that is essentially the same price point as Jude Bellingham. So it wouldn't be Mac Allister and Valverde. To me, it would be a question of would you rather have Jude Bellingham or Valverde? And then it becomes a debate. You're like, wait a minute. But honestly, bro, this is what's crazy about psychology. I was set on Jude Bellingham for the longest time. I said he's coming to Liverpool. I said I want him. He needs to come. Now that he's gone to Madrid, in my head, my brain has automatically said, there's so many players out there that are better than him. And I don't know if that's true or not, or if it's just my head
No, it's not true.
justifying it.
No, it's not true, but we've just lost interest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I would ever want him now. Even if it was our fault we didn't get him, I don't know if I would ever want him now.
No, because, dude, he's under contract at the club, so he's going to say these things. But I guarantee you, when he said, I know you saw this too, when he said, I went to the final and a big factor of me choosing between Liverpool and Madrid was Madrid winning. I guarantee you, once he signed that dotted line, they said, in your first press conference, we need you to say this. Like Madrid, I feel like Madrid is one of those clubs where they tell their players to say certain things. You know what I mean? And I feel like Barcelona is the same way. Like these giant clubs in Spain, they rub me the wrong way, man. They always have. I don't like Spanish clubs. Unless you're Bilbao. I love Bilbao.
All right, so do the math.
I'll do it.
This is what I was trying to say. Do the math. Mac Allister's 35. Bellingham went for like 103, 105. We'll call it 105.
Okay.
That would mean we could get Valverde for 70. And those two combined would be the price of Bellingham. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I don't think anyone would want Bellingham over those two. I don't think. Especially with the way Trent's playing.
They shouldn't. But I think, God, man, it's the hope that kills you. And I think as a Liverpool fan, we've always been a team that we don't sign the superstars. Very rarely do we sign players that are like a huge name. And that's why it was such a big deal when we signed Van Dijk, Alisson, and honestly, dude, I think Nunez was one of those signings where we were like, whoa, we just signed Nunez, right? Even though Nunez wasn't proven, it was the price tag that stood out to me. So the point I'm trying to make is we can go back and forth all day about it's the FSG is the reason we didn't get Jude Bellingham because they didn't want to pay. Maybe. But I think the fact of the matter is I don't think Liverpool will ever, unless they get new ownership, go after those kinds of players. We're always going to be looking for a deal, but we're always going to be looking for a good combination of a deal and quality, i.e. Mac Allister, i.e. Gakpo, i.e. Diaz, Jota. All these players fall into those categories. They're great players, but they're not players that are linked with every club and that are a superstar. Do they become superstars? Sure. It's just a completely different method of transfer business. And it kind of sucks at times, but I think in the long run, it ends up working out.
I think this is the last thing I'll say about it. I think because of the season we just had, that made Bellingham more unlikely. If we had if we were linked with Bellingham, let's call it last season, we fought for every trophy. If we were linked with him heavily, concrete links, and we were hearing that he wanted to come to Liverpool and pictures with Trent and Hendo and blah, blah, blah. If we were hearing all that stuff for the entire 21-22 season, I think we'd be more likely to buy him last summer than we are now because we just need more.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend 150 million or 200 million, whatever we'll end up spending, I think we'll end up spending about 150 million. But you need real help. You have to buy multiple players that are cheaper.
Right.
And you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. Because if we bought Bellingham this summer and then didn't buy anybody else, I wouldn't be happy. That's the thing. He's a nice to have, not a need to have. Strictly because we need multiple players and more help, more bodies, more depth. Bellingham does not give you depth, especially when you just lost 3 midfielders. Because what happens if he gets hurt? And Curtis Jones isn't the player that he was, and Hendo continues to age a little bit more.
These are all great points. Little static, but all great points. Because you can get the same quality with multiple players, I think is what you're saying. You can get the same help, and overall you can get the same quality. Like, for example, Barella now being linked with Newcastle. I think Barella would be another player Liverpool should go after, dude. I think Thuram should have been done 2 weeks ago. Like, these are players you need to get done.
We also do business in the sense that, like, we solve major problems, but midfield is we solve specific problems. Like, we needed a goalkeeper. We bought Allison.
Yeah.
A great goalkeeper. It's a no-brainer, right? We needed a center back that was going to hold down the fort for 5 to 8 years.
Van Dijk.
We bought Virgil.
Beautiful.
Yep. We needed a left back better than Moreno. We bought Robertson. I don't think we knew what we were getting with him, but
No.
still, if you buy Bellingham, we still have problems. Because what does that do? That replaces, we'll call it, Thiago on the first 11. I don't know, right? Just as an example.
Right.
You still have problems. Fabinho didn't look great this year for the most part, but Cecic is coming off an injury and he's young. Harvey's young. You lost Milner, Keita, Ox.
There's so many
Bellingham
players.
doesn't solve anything.
Right.
From an overarching perspective. He's going to help, but he is not going to turn the club around. But 3 players could.
So if we take into account that Ox and Keita left, and Milner left, of course, this is just me. A lot of people wouldn't think this way, but this is what I'm going to think. Hendo fills in the Milner role. Elliott fills in the Keita role. Jones fills in for Ox. You still need 2 more midfielders minimum, right? Because there's Bajcetic. He's new. Fine. Bajcetic is fine. I still think you need 2 midfielders.
Well, it depends what you do with Trent. What happens with Trent and what the plans are with Trent is going to determine if we get 1 or 2 more.
And that, to me, is a problem because it's great if Trent plays midfield. That's awesome. But then you got to think about defending. Then you need a defender.
But that's what I mean. Yeah. So you need 2 players, either 2 midfielders or 2 midfielders and a defender that can play right back and center back. Or maybe Konate plays over there. I don't know. I don't know. Fabinho can also play right back and center back. But like he's getting older and we just can't expect him to play that. Just be the guy anymore. Like play everywhere.
Yeah.
Like he's a defensive midfielder. I think that's where he needs to stay.
Oyvind says Ox and Keita is almost 1 player.
Not even. Yeah, not even 1 player.
Oh my God, dude. This team sometimes just gives me stress. I have 1 silver hair right here. You can kind of see it on camera. That's from our midfield. It's just unbelievable. Ross says play Trent in midfield, Pavard the expensive option, Van der Ven the cheaper option. Just buy everybody, dude. Just literally buy everybody real quick. And they're not even expensive signings. Just get them. Just get these guys.
Yeah, how much is Pavard going to cost?
I don't know, like 50?
What? Is that what they're saying?
No, 30, 40. Dude, I don't know.
25, 30.
Everybody who we're linked with, you can take a random guess between 30 and 50 and probably be right.
Yeah.
No, I'm silver. Silver Fox, Liz. Liverpool need Ryan Gravenbach, Thuram, and Kone. I don't think Gravenbach's happened. I haven't heard anything about Gravenbach in a while.
Yeah, he said he wants to play and he wants it to be in Munich if possible. But yeah, that's it.
Closing thoughts.
I feel like we didn't have much to talk about today, but we ended up talking about much. So
we talked about much.
We talked about much.
I
got nothing else, man. Let's see a signing. Hopefully we have a signing to report on. But somebody here said in the chat, Paul Joyce or James Pierce said it's tough with international duty, and I agree.
Right.
So that doesn't help the
international
expediting.
duty is usually when a lot of the links come out. The links happen over international duty, none of the concrete stuff. What I will say is I enjoy no agenda. I like just chatting. It's the best show, in my opinion. And I appreciate everyone being here as well. Slap the like button if you enjoyed the stream. Can't thank you guys enough for showing your support. Steve, thank you, my man.
Pleasure. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to everyone, Reds. Until next time, take care.